Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a new breakdown of laws in California that are going into effect as of now, 2019. And so the first one that I had ran across was the hashtag Me Too. And so there's a new NDA bill that they have passed. And so I'm sure it'll probably include that in the list here. So by Mindy Shack, 2019 new laws in California. Governor Jerry Brown is leaving office January the 7th after signing more than 1,000 laws in his first year. Here are a few of them: criminal justice and public safety, minimum age for prosecution. It's a Senate Bill 439, establishes 12 years of minimum age for prosecution in juvenile court unless a minor younger than 12 has committed murder or rape. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. Juvenile justice. It's a Senate Bill 1391, eliminates the ability to try a defendant under the age of 16 as an adult, thereby sending them to prison instead of a juvenile detention facility. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. Police transparency. Assembly Bill 748 requires that the images of the body cameras on the police officers and any other audio recording acquired by a police agency be disclosed to the public. This must be done within 45 days after a public shooting or excessive force causing death or injury to a person. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. Police transparency. Once again, it's a Senate Bill 1421, allows public access to police records in cases of force, as well as investigations that confirm the lack of honesty in the work or sexual misconduct. Bill has taken effect January 1st, 2019. Gun Control Bill, Senate Bill 1200, eliminates fees for requesting a firearm violence restraining order, GVRO, and adds ammunition and bullet drums to the list of items related to firearms that can be confiscated. Bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. Domestic violence and firearms. Assembly Bill 3129 prohibits anyone convicted of a misdemeanor domestic violence offense after January 1st, 2019 from possessing a firearm for the rest of their lives. Watch and read KRCR's report on Assembly Bill 3129 here. Conceal and carry weapon permit training. Assembly Bill 2103 requires gun owners with a concealed carry license to undergo a minimum of 8 hours of training and demonstrate proficiency and safety on the shooting range before CCW applicants could get their permit without ever shooting a gun. Watch this and read KRCR's report on Assembly Bill 2103 here. Long gun restrictions. SB 1100 prohibits anyone younger than 21 from purchasing long gun, such as a rifle or shotgun, from a licensed firearm dealer. However, the law includes an exemption for law enforcement officers, members of the military, and anyone who possesses a valid, unexpired hunting license. Watch and read this on KRCR's report on Senate Bill 1100 here. Drunk driving ignition interlock devices. Senate Bill 1046 requires Californians found guilty of driving under the influence, which are DUIs, to temporarily install breathalyzers in their vehicles to get their driver's license back. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. In the workplace, criminal history and applications for employment. Senate Bill 1412 specifies that employers will be allowed to ask an applicant or another source about a particular conviction of the applicant if, number one, the employers are required to obtain information regarding a particular conviction of the applicant, regarding of whether the conviction has been expunged, judicially ordered, sealed, statutorily eradicated, or judicially dismissed following probation. Number two, the applicant would be required to possess or use a firearm in the course of the job. Three, applicants with a particular conviction is prohibited by law from holding the possession sought regardless of whether the conviction has been expunged, judicially ordered, sealed, statutory eradicated, judicially dismissed following probation. Number four, employers are prohibited by law from hiring an applicant who has a particular conviction, regardless of whether the conviction has been expunged, judicially ordered, sealed, statutorily eradicated, or judicially dismissed following probation. Board of Directors Equality, Senate Bill 826 requires that the December 31st, 2019, a publicly held corporation, domestic and foreign, whose executive offices are located in California, to have a minimum of one female director on its board of directors. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. Overnight or overtime, or I said overnight, overtime for agricultural workers. Assembly Bill 1066 mandates that agricultural workers will receive an overtime payment in their salaries, and this regulation will slowly increase the wages for extra hours for agricultural employees over the period of 4 years. Changes begin January 1st, 2019 for employers who hire more than 25 employees. Street vendors, Senate Bill 946 protects the activity of street vendors in the state and allows them to sell on the streets. However, under this measure, local authorities will have the power to establish regulations based on aspects of health, safety, and public welfare. This bill also takes effect January 1st, 2019. Breastfeeding at work. Assembly Bill 1976 requires employers to make reasonable efforts to provide a room or a place for breastfeeding that is not a bathroom. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. Waiver of legal claims. Senate Bill 1300 prohibits employers in California after January 1st, 2019 from forcing employees to sign a non-disparagement agreement to release the employer of claims, including for sexual harassment, as a condition to for a raise or bonus or a condition of employment. That said, there are exceptions when the employee voluntarily agrees to waive rights in an agreement. The bill also strengthens sexual harassment training by authorizing employers to provide bystander intervention training. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. Protection against lawsuits in cases of harassment complaints. Bill 2770 protects people from the threat of defamation lawsuit with a sexual harassment allegation to an employer is based on credible evidence without malice. The law was passed after the state's defamation laws were identified as sometimes deterring victims and witnesses from making complaints or communicating information about harassers in sexual harassment cases, of course, to others. Also, it protects companies with knowledge of the harassing activity and allows them to warn other potential employers without the threat of a defamation lawsuit. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. Confidentiality agreement. Senate Bill 820 applies to private and public employers in California and outlaws secret settlement, non-disclosure agreements of factual information in cases involving allegations of sexual assault, harassment, or discrimination. It also grants claimants in sexual abuse or sex discrimination cases the option to keep their name private. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. Environment and health laws. Plastic straws are banned. Assembly Bill 1884 limits restaurants statewide to giving out single-use straws only upon request of customers. It applies to full-service dining establishments, but exempts fast food restaurants. So restaurants violating the law could be fined up to $25 a day for violations, or a maximum of $300 per year. While This bill is now in effect January 1st, 2019. So healthy child drinks in restaurants. So Senate Bill 1192 mandates the child's meals in restaurants that come with a drink have a healthy beverage as the drink default option, such as milk water, sparkling water, flavored water with um, no added natural or artificial sweeteners. This bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. So craft distillers, Senate Bill 1164 raises the amount of spirits California's craft distillers can produce while also keeping craft distillers beer that is below the production level or the larger brewers. The law also allows craft distillers to operate more like the state's wineries and breweries by giving them the opportunity to sell their products to visitors even when they do not taste the beer. The bill takes effect January 1st. Sale of pets. This was one I saw that was interesting. So, Assembly Bill 485 prohibits the sale of breeding dogs, cats, and rabbits in pet stores and requires these animals to be obtained from animal shelters and rescue groups. So, they have to sell rescue animals. The bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. So, home cooking as a micro enterprise. So Assembly Bill 626 allows cities and cities and counties to authorize and regulate the sale of homemade foods. Okay, so they have to authorize and regulate the sale. So the bill takes effect January 1st, 2019. So these are a breakdown of some of the main laws that have now taken effect um, in this new year, and gun laws was included in there. So I guess those were some of the big hot button topics that came out in 2018. And so in 2019, we're trying to see how these things will go into effect and what will happen with these new laws. So what do you think about these new laws? Should they, especially I heard some people saying they didn't want them to ban straws. I've heard people saying that with the pet industry that there might be a problem. Some people are good about that. They think that's a good idea because pets that are in kennels and things like that are going to get killed. They're not going to be able to live their life. They need a home. And some people feel like, oh, that's not fair because now, it's going to create a problem. And some of the pet shops will probably go to other states that don't have that law, that they got to just sell the rescue animals. So it's a lot of different debates on some of the issues. And what do you think about the gun control laws that they are in effect? Eliminates fees for requesting a firearm violence restraining order, add the ammunition and bullet drum to the list of items related to the firearms that can be confiscated. That has taken effect. Domestic violence firearms, so that's a good one. Prohibits anyone convicted of a misdemeanor of domestic violence offense. January 1st, 2019, it has come into effect from possessing a firearm for the rest of their lives. Concealed carry weapon permit training, there's a law on that. Long gun restrictions. Now this one I think was pretty big. Prohibits anyone younger than 21 from purchasing a long gun, such as a rifle or a shotgun, from a licensed firearm dealer. And that came up in a couple of school shooting incidences. So I believe that's why that one is in effect. However, the law includes an exemption for law enforcement officers, members of the military, and anyone who possesses a valid unexpired hunting license. So if that person happens to be, some might debate, they might say, well, what if it's a kid and he had a hunting license and it's unexpired? He could still get a gun. Or what if his parents have access to guns and they lock the gun in the closet and they just so happen to unlock that closet and leave it exposed, and that kid has a mental issue and gets their hand on the gun. So those are some things that people might think about as well. So anyway, with that being said, There's also the issue of the DUI, where the person has to temporarily install the breathalyzer in their vehicle to get their driver's license back. And so I guess it's somebody that has an issue where they get in their car and they drive drunk repeatedly. So anyway, also the minimum age for prosecution, that one came up. That's probably, a big one too, because that had to do with some of the school shooters were around, you know, they were the teenagers. They were like teenagers or under the age of 21, and you're wondering, can they be tried as an adult after they committed a mass shooting? And so, like here, it says juvenile justice eliminates the ability to try a defendant under the age of 16 as an adult, thereby sending them to prison instead of a juvenile detention facility. So you can't do that if they're under the age of 16. However, if they're over the age of 16, they can be tried as an adult, depending on the nature of the crime. And then the minimum age for prosecution, which establishes 12 years as a minimum age for prosecution in the juvenile courts, unless the minor is younger than 12, has committed murder or rape. And so these are some real big issues that came up, I guess, because of some of the things that had occurred in 2018. So with that being said, I'm going to let this video go. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for listening. What do you think about these new laws? And one that I just did, hopefully that came out, it had to do with #MeToo. I did mention something about sexual harassment in there, but that's a part of it. And so there are new laws that are that have now come into effect with that as well. So with that being said, I'm going to let this video go, and thanks for listening.